LeBron James and Kevin Durant?
Well, and you know, people close to LeBron are adamantly denying
Before
this.
you say that, you're supposed to say first things first.
First things first. And Stephen A., who's obviously plugged in, he admitted, in fairness to him, he admitted, look, people close to LeBron have told him they denied that this didn't happen. And they look, LeBron's people are in touch with KD's people. They just have relationships.
Yes.
So would he have to text him? You know, I don't doubt this has been discussed on some level. It only makes sense that it would be discussed on some level. Now, here's the thing. For LeBron, I think it'd be a good look if the narrative is not that he went out and recruited Durant. Like, if it happens organically, if Durant wants to play with LeBron, LeBron wants to play with Durant, Durant's ready to move on from Golden State, I think it works. If it looks like LeBron was begging him, come play, you know, it makes it look like you're begging the guy that's been beating you the last few years to come and play with you. That's not a good look. So if it happens organically, certainly it'd be great for LeBron. He'd be a perfect teammate for LeBron. Obviously, Golden State wouldn't be as good, and L.A. would be phenomenal. So now you can really win a championship. To me, it makes no sense for Kevin Durant.
None.
None whatsoever. Number one, if he's unhappy that the Warriors will never be his team because it's Steph's team. You go play with LeBron James, guess what?
Not your team either.
It's LeBron's team. And if he's unhappy that people think he took the easy way to a championship, well, guess what? Going to play with the best player in the world.
It's going to be worse.
Exactly. People are going to say the same exact thing. And finally, if you're a competitor, even though he and LeBron are friends, he's got to be thinking, I want to win more rings than LeBron James.
Yes.
And he's in a perfect position to do it, to keep LeBron from getting rings and to pour on rings himself. So for Kevin Durant, the only reason I could see him doing it was if he just wanted to do LeBron a favor and help LeBron win more rings, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I think Kevin Durant's mind's in the right place. Now, people might have problems with him going to Golden State. People might have problems with the burner account. People might have problems with his personality. But from a basketball standpoint, I believe Kevin Durant is committed to this. Trying to win more championships than LeBron James and trying to unseat LeBron in this conversation. Forget about Jordan. Who's the best player now? I believe KD, that's what he's working for. He does have a good relationship with LeBron, but him partnering with LeBron does not help his legacy. And if he had a problem, which he did, with the criticism that he's gotten the last couple of years, man, if you haven't gotten criticism till you ask Kevin Love, ask Kyrie, ask Ty Lue, ask anyone, Dwayne Wade, anyone associated with LeBron James, you've never been criticized until you partner with him. So I believe KD's, his mind is in the right place. I'm trying to be the best player in the world, and I'm trying to win more rings than LeBron James has.
Listen, I think I don't think this is going to happen. I also think, though, when you're talking about wanting to be the best player in the world, wanting it to be his team, it depends on how many years this partnership would last, right? Because at some point, Kevin Durant's going to be better than LeBron. He's so much younger. Like, at some point, if they were together for the next 4 years, if they signed 4-year deals with the Lakers, you would think by year 3, when LeBron would be going into year 18, that would then be Kevin Durant's team. And that they could, and if you're talking about long-term legacy, if LeBron is your second option at that point, that might be the best chance to win titles, more so than an older Steph Curry when we don't know how he's going to age. So you can make an argument for it. I don't think it's going to happen. What I do think is LeBron would have been foolish to not do all of his due diligence about everything. If for no other reason than to find out, even if Kevin Durant doesn't want to play with him, is Kevin Durant thinking about leaving Golden State? Because that changes the math on his own decision.
That part right there, I disagree with you. Okay. I believe he knows him enough that he knew, man, this is no career spot for KD in Golden State. KD's already communicated, or I got enough information that KD is going to finish in D.C.
Sure, but
because you can't ask a person to leave what they're doing being successful. I don't care how close you are.
It would be a bad look, right? you just won 2 rings. You were the Finals MVP twice, and beat me to say, man, why don't you come? Why don't you come play with me?
Right.
I hear exactly.
That's totally different. Chris and I was at another network. Eventually, we partnered back up. Hey, man, meet me over there. Hey, let's do that. But that's different.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not so terribly different than Draymond and Steph recruiting.
No,
Kevin
it
Durant.
is terribly different because Draymond Green was never the best player in the world, and certainly isn't in the GOAT conversation.
But Steph was.
Steph's never in the GOAT conversation. Well, you are held to a higher standard as LeBron James.
Sure, okay, that's fair. But as far as asking a guy who now, obviously Golden State had beaten Oklahoma City, but it was because they had lost to LeBron that they then wanted to add Kevin Durant, or at least in part because of that. But the point I'm making, C, about figuring out what Kevin Durant's going to do, forget long term, just for LeBron's decision for this year. If he talked to KD and KD said, man, I really think I'm going to leave Golden State. I've done what I came to do. I'm going to leave this offseason, which obviously he didn't say. Then maybe LeBron says, oh, so Golden State's not going to have you? Should I stick around one more year in Cleveland? Could we win a? Could we?
No, that would be
important information.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, if it happens organically and Durant wants it as much, I'm fine with it. But if it looks like the best player in the world is going out and trying to get the guy that's been beating him to play with him, that's a bad look. And here's what I say. You brought the scenario that if KD and LeBron played together, obviously KD would eventually be better in a few years. But KD is not in a position to be a protege. That scenario makes him LeBron's protege. Like Ben Simmons and Embiid in Philly, yeah, they could be his proteges. Durant's like, I'm competing with you.
How did they do the press conference?
Durant thinks he's better.
Imagine they're at the finals together doing that press conference, the way they put the teammates up there. We saw Steph. And Steph and KD, man, they play off of each other well. Man, LeBron and KD, I just don't see it that way.
I guess the reason that I don't think this is so far outside of the box, even though, again, I want to make it clear, I don't think this is going to happen, is we saw KD go team up with the second or third best player in the world as the second or third best player in the world.
But who was viewed as the best player of that Hamptons 5 in that room? Who was viewed as the best player?
They were looking up when they made the phone call.
There you go.
Man,
they were looking up.
Man, I think we are looking at this differently now because of the way those last 2 years have went. In the moment...
The last 2 years went exactly how we thought they were going to go.
No, of course, but we didn't. My point is this. In the moment, Steph was the 2-time defending MVP.
Yeah, but...
Steph was the heir apparent to LeBron.
I guarantee
if you talk to people
I guarantee
around
if you
the
do
league,
an interview... Steph was not saying, I'm the best player in the world. Steph would not even say, I'm better than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was already saying that. So the overall mentality of the players is totally different.
And Steph, I agree, Steph was becoming the face of the league, even more so than LeBron.
Yes.
But I don't know anybody around the league, other than like these analytical reporters, that thought Steph was the best player in the league.
But did they think he was better than Durant? That's my point.
No, because Steph, defensively, he doesn't do anything. And granted, Durant wasn't Kawhi Leonard, but he was still a pretty good defender. He was okay. He was better than Steph. And even offensively, I agree with you.
I think people are forgetting how transcendent Steph was that 73-win year, the unanimous MVP year. It was arguably the greatest offensive season anyone has ever had. Like, in that moment, now we look back and we're like, KD's obviously the best player. In that moment, I think a lot of people thought Steph was better than KD.
If they were 73 wins, you put KD on the 73-win team and put Steph in OKC and see how different the results are. Like, KD, to me, is the only player that you can approach in a conversation with, is he as good as LeBron James? Steph is just in a different category because of his size and because the lack of defense.
I agree with you that that's the case. I just don't know if that's what people thought 2 years ago. Maybe that's what you thought 2 years ago. Maybe it's what you thought 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago the discussion was different. But I agree with you that that's the reality.
That's what I was thinking. I just need a TV show to tell people. Now we have a legitimate conversation. Is LeBron the greatest basketball player ever? At no point in his career could we ever say that. Now, I know Nick was trying to, but at no point could he really, really back it up. But when you have 8 straight finals, when you have year 15, the way he played, playing all 82 games. So I believe that now his legacy, this is more important, because if he can take his third team third franchise to a championship, that would be monumental. Anything he does after year 15, with how many points, how many rebounds, all those things, as far as, because at this point, what was Michael Jordan doing?
He's done.
He was done.
He's done.
So I believe it becomes very important for him, how long can he maintain the level he's at, and this next move gets him to a champion. So, yes, playing with Kevin Durant, not only is Kevin Durant the second best player, but the styles match up. Kevin Durant's ability to be able to catch and shoot is the best matchup for a LeBron-type pairing.
And I don't know if C agrees with me on this, but I also believe one of the reasons LeBron reached out to Durant was, yes, to see, that potentially, maybe even if it's a long shot, do you want to come to L.A., but also take his temperature if he may be leaving Golden State. Only because if Durant were to say, you know what, I've done what I need to do in Golden State, I want to go play in Washington, I want to go play at home, then the math on what type of teammates LeBron needs wherever to win a championship changes. If Golden State is weakened, then maybe LeBron's thinking, oh, Cleveland, rerun it back. How would that series have gone if in the finals they didn't have Durant? Like, any major life decision, I would argue, in any field, you want all available information. And LeBron's in a really good position where he's one of the people that everyone will take his phone call. Everyone will communicate with him. And we saw LeBron and Durant, while they're on-court rivals, they have a friendship. We saw that thing they did with Uber just won an award that won the Bronze Lion at Cannes Film Festival. Like, those guys have a real relationship, so he may as well get that information.
So you're throwing out guys like Kawhi and Paul George and Kevin Durant. Who do you guys think would be the one guy that LeBron wants to play with more than anyone else? I mean, he's got his pick right now, whoever's available.
Well, I believe it would be KD. And the reason why is that because they're 1 and 2, and I believe LeBron probably has the best relationship of all the superstars with KD. And what him and KD could do is both of them have lost to Golden State. The triplets of Golden State, before they could come together and be able to knock Golden State off. Both of them would have motivation enough to do it. And I believe that the way they play, they can motivate each other to keep that consistent playing at that high level going.
And it would bring up something that is borderline unprecedented in NBA history, which is, what are the instances of the clear 2 best players in the league being together? You could argue there was 1 year in Los Angeles with Shaq and Kobe, but I don't think Kobe was yet the second best player in the world. Early on, when Magic got with Kareem, when Kareem was still the best, was Magic yet the second best? I don't think so.
Right.
Pippen was awesome. He was never the second best player in the world, so it would be something we'd never seen before. So I agree. I think in a perfect world, it would be Kevin Durant. But LeBron doesn't get to pick where Kevin Durant plays, and Durant's got the business in the Bay Area. They are the overwhelming favorites if nothing changes. Durant's job gets harder if he leaves Golden State. He has no incentive to do so.
But also, I think LeBron is friendly enough with KD to understand KD is not going to retire a Golden State Warrior. He probably has the intel that KD has told people. Ultimately, he wants to go back to D.C. or go some. KD's got a home in L.A. too, though. So LeBron, I believe, did the right thing in reaching out to KD, however he did it, through communications, either by text or some other way.
And we should mention Stephen A. Smith also reported that KD said, thanks, no thanks. I'm sort of content where I am right now. But again, this is all sort of unfolding as we move along into free agency. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.